Creating extraordinary success in business and life is absolutely possible. That means more income, more freedom, and more energy for what you value most without the hustle or burnout. I'm Laura Flood, certified success and high performance coach, CEO for over 30 years, and a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur. I've built a profitable, sustainable business while prioritizing my family, my health, and my happiness, and I'm here to help you do the same. This is the Redefining Success Podcast, where I'll share the strategies, tools, and the mindset shifts to help you grow with intention, live a life you love, and create lasting happiness, wealth, and freedom without losing yourself in the process. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Redefining Success Podcast. Today's episode is an important one, especially for those of us building brands, intellectual property, and scalable online businesses. As your business grows, your visibility increases, your impact expands, and the value of what you've created becomes so much more significant. That also means protecting what you've built really becomes essential. And I'm joined today by Berkley Sweetapple, a business and trademark attorney who helps entrepreneurs legally protect their brands, their intellectual property, and their businesses so they can scale with confidence. She's passionate about helping business owners create sustainable, scalable businesses that support their freedom and long-term success. So in today's conversation, we're going to walk through the legal foundations that every online business owner needs to understand, including trademarks, contracts, intellectual property, and the most common legal mistakes entrepreneurs make as they grow. So Berkley, welcome to the show today. I'm really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your story, how you got into this, and then we'll dive into all the important things that our listeners need to hear.
Sure. So I graduated from law school in 2014, and my superlative was most likely to quit the practice of law and become a housewife. Because it was clear that I just was not the typical law student or lawyer and never felt like I fit in the box in the legal landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So I did work for a traditional law firm out of law school. I did litigation, which is like the terrible, scary type of law where you go to court, fight about problems that could have been avoided. But on the side, I started a legal lifestyle blog just for fun because I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to be a lawyer forever. And so I started this legal lifestyle blog. It was called Lady J, short for Lady Justice. And I joined, I don't know if you know Julie Solomon. She's an online business coach, but I joined her. It was called the Influencer Academy in 2018. And I was in there trying to learn how to monetize my blog and learn the whole influencer thing. And everyone in there came to me for legal questions. They were like trying to monetize online businesses. And they're like, but what about a privacy policy? What about a trademark? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I do litigation, But I'm like, this is a niche that is not being served. Like, I don't know any normal female lawyers who are helping these women who are, growing these businesses and have no idea where to turn. And maybe I don't have to quit law completely. Like maybe there is a niche in this space where I can work with the type of clients I want to work with and do a type of law that's actually exciting because it's exactly what I need to be learning as I grow my online business. And so that's how it all started, joining this group and just meeting other women in the online space. And it kind of went from there. And in 2021, I launched my legal template shop, which has affordable, downloadable fill-in-the-blank contract templates. And then the demand was more for one-on-one. So shortly after that, I started my law firm and it kind of went from there.
Oh, that's exciting. What a great pivot. There is a high demand in our industry for this because, people just don't realize how important this is. And I think they're scared. I think there's this level of fear that, they started their business, they're doing all the things, and then all of a sudden they should be trademarked or they should have all of this in place. And they just put it off. They keep putting it off. So do you see that a lot too?
I see that. And I totally get it and relate to it, because legal is one of those scary things where you feel a lot of things. Like you might feel intimidated. You might feel shame. You might feel like you're not sophisticated enough, or you're not big enough. There's all these limiting beliefs that come up when we think about, am I ready to hire a lawyer or get legally protected? Right. So I totally get it. And people do put it off. But it is one of those important things that it's just way easier and more cost effective to do it earlier rather than waiting until something goes wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a few people that have had things go wrong where they didn't take the time or invest in an attorney or invest in themselves and get the trademarks, and then they had to start all over. And that wasn't fun for them. So
yes, I always say there's like the price of doing it, and then there's the cost of not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what do you see as, some of the common pitfalls that with entrepreneurs and, the things that they need to look out for to protect their business? Where would you start with that conversation?
So as a trademark, I'm a business and a trademark attorney, but a lot of people come to me for trademarks. And so the common pitfall I see is I didn't trademark my business name and I got sent a cease and desist. And where do I go from here? And it's usually someone has trademarked the name first and they have to rebrand and pick a new name and start over, which is never fun. It's never what you want to hear in the moment. My clients always make the best of it and come up with something better, but it's never something you want to be kind of railroaded by. So that's the biggest one I see is people don't know about trademarks or have misconceptions around it where they think I have the domain or I have the Instagram handle or I formed the LLC with that name, therefore it's mine.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that the only way to own your name in all 50 states and prevent copycats and prevent a rebrand is to have the federal trademark.
Okay. As someone's business expands and their brand really becomes more visible online, how does their legal risk profile change?
So when you're becoming more visible and you're scaling, you have more eyes on you, which means you are more likely going to be the target of a copycat, because if you're doing something well, there's always going to be someone who's trying to ride on that success.
Yeah.
You also become more of a target for these like AI, I don't want to call them scams, but there are firms being hired and they're using AI to kind of target people who don't have like privacy policies in place, don't have cookies pop-ups. So these little like technicalities, you become more at risk for that. You become more at risk for like the Federal Trade Commission to care about you. And like if you're not using affiliate disclaimers or earnings disclaimers, like things that they require. So just as you become more visible, all of these things increase in risk, and you just want to be sure that you're building on a solid foundation. And all of us want, as business owners, as we scale, we want to become more visible. And I think not being legally protected is one of the things that keeps people from actually being more visible, because they're afraid, like, well, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. I don't want anyone to copy me. Like all of these fears come up as we start to become more visible, and not having legal kind of is that like self-sabotage.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So where do you have people start when they come to you and they have nothing in place?
Yeah.
Because that might be some people that are listening, because I see it a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it depends on the budget. And I really want to be mindful that like when you're starting out, you might not have a $10,000 budget for legal. So that's why I created my template shop. So I have something called the 7-figure CEO bundle. It's not really a bundle. It's just like a golden ticket to everything in there. So that's where I tell most people to start, because you can access every single contract template, every single legal training, and we have live ones with like Q&A if you have any particular questions like about your business. But that's sort of like the gold mine of like under $500 where I would start.
Wow, that's a great deal.
It is a great deal. Yeah.
And then of course packages and
Yeah, and then
levels.
if your budget is more like in the $5,000 to $10,000
Mhm.
range, we have VIP days where we do a legal audit
Mm.
of your business. We go through everything. We're like, okay, do you have these contracts in place? You need these trademarks. Your course, you need to register that with the copyright office. You're not using disclaimers. Your email
Mhm.
opt-in is, not there. Like all of the things. So that's more of like a personalized, in-depth kind of review that we
Okay.
do.
Yeah, one question that someone had asked me once, and I don't know the answer to this. What's the difference between copyright and trademark?
Yeah, so they're both forms of intellectual property.
Mhm.
Trademark protects any word, phrase, or design that identifies the source of your goods or services.
Okay.
So if you think of Nike, like the Nike swoosh, just do it, the tagline, the word Nike, these are all their trademarks.
Yeah.
So when you see them, you think of Nike. Copyright protects original works of authorship. So literary works, musical works, audiovisual, like recordings. So if you have an ebook, it's like the actual contents of the ebook, or the videos in a course, whereas trademark protects the name of the course.
Okay.
So a lot of times you need both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say the top 5 things entrepreneurs should really focus on to protect themselves legally?
Okay, if I had to pick just 5, I would say make sure you have a business entity. So it's like a simple legal protection, but it carries a lot of weight. So forming an LLC or a corporation protects your personal assets if your business were to ever get a judgment against it. And you'll want to talk to both an accountant and a lawyer to know like which entity is right for you, because there are tax implications and all of that stuff that accountants deal with.
Yes.
We
need the whole team, right?
Yeah, we need the whole team. Having solid contracts. So your client contract, making sure that it really reflects how you do business and like how you want the termination clause to read, like how, are there refunds? Are there late fees? Do you have the right disclaimers? If you're a health coach, you need like health related disclaimers. If you're a business coach, make sure you have an earnings disclaimer. Don't rely on ChatGPT. I wish we could, I wish we could rely on ChatGPT to give us all of the legal things, because it would make my job a lot easier, but we can't. So just don't go down the rabbit hole.
Oh gosh, going through all those circles of conversation with chat, right? Yeah.
No.
The time, money, and energy that people spend on that would be much better spent on hiring a professional, right?
Yeah.
Because we've all done it in different areas of life and business.
Right. I know. We're like, okay, I should hire a therapist and not ask chat,
Sometimes you just need a quick answer though.
Yeah.
Okay. So business entity.
So contracts, contracts or like terms of purchase. If you sell a course, that's your contract. Like somebody's clicking your terms of purchase and accepting those. Make sure you have those for like any membership you have, course, mastermind, retreat, have people sign terms of purchase or contracts. What else? Disclaimers. So having like affiliate disclaimers if you are selling, if you're using any affiliate links.
Okay.
And make sure those disclaimers are like near the link itself, not just buried in like a terms of use. Earnings disclaimer, if you're referencing your results or your client's results, make sure you say, you're not making any guarantees and all of that. Keep records of any testimonials, like any earnings claims you make. Make sure you keep a copy. It's a big one that people don't know that they have to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know how many, I think that was 3, right? We have forming a business entity, contracts, disclaimers, website policies.
Okay, that's a big one.
It's a big one. Yeah, website terms of use and privacy policy. And this comes into play, like I was saying with the AI, where these like lawyers are trying to leverage settlements and find people that are not in compliance. So we see this a lot with like freebies. Like if you have a freebie on your website and you're collecting an email address or a name, that's like collecting personal information. So that's when you're required to have a privacy policy. Website terms of use is your contract with anyone who comes to your website. So that's where you'll have like some disclaimers and your intellectual property clauses and what to do if someone wants to sue you, which we hope they don't, but it's there just in case someone reads your blog and has an issue with it.
Yeah.
And then intellectual property. So trademarks, copyright, any name. So like your business name, podcast name, retreat name, program names, product names. You want to make sure you're not infringing on someone else's trademark. So that's where an attorney comes in to like do a comprehensive search, make sure the name is available, protecting those, and then copywriting any original work of authorship. And I think that's 5.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So what do you do if someone is using your trademark property?
Yeah. So if somebody is using your trademark and you have it registered, you could send them a nice message first. Say, I have a registered trademark, you're infringing. If that doesn't work, then you have a lawyer send a demand letter and tell them that they need to rebrand. And if they don't, you'll sue them for trademark infringement.
I actually got one of those once a couple of years ago.
They're fun, aren't they? It's like part of the entrepreneur journey is getting a
yes. Yeah. And it was like something that was off by one word. It was just, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just, and I was just starting with the new part of my coaching business. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but I can't imagine going, being in business for several years and having that happen. That would be awful.
Yeah. And that's why I like to educate women on like the importance of building on a solid foundation. Because yes, it's costly, but it's probably not any more expensive than your website or the logo that you had created, or the social media manager you hired. Like, and it's one of those things you should do before all of that, because otherwise, why are you spending money investing in a brand that you could be building like the goodwill of someone else? You could have to give all of that up if you don't own it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having that peace of mind too.
Yes.
I think that that's so important. And the longer you're in business or just, in this industry of entrepreneurship, that peace of mind, whenever we can get that, is so important. And it's worth spending the money.
And peace of mind translates to everything, right? Yeah. It translates to like our energy and like how we sell, how we show up, how creative we are. Like it impacts everything.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. So how does someone make sure that their name is available? Like where would they start from the beginning?
Start by doing a Google search, social media search. The next place I would go is the USPTO website, and that will show you exact matches.
Okay.
It won't show you everything, so it's not a place that you stop. If you search Starbucks with an X, like Starbucks with a CK is not coming up.
Right.
And then the final step would be hiring an attorney who will do a search. We use software to make sure there's nothing out there that's like similar sounding, similar meaning, foreign translations, anything that could block your application, because you want to know that your application is going to succeed before you file it. And a lot of people, this is like the moment of reckoning where they realize like someone else has it.
Yeah.
But it's better to know that way and be like, okay, time to rebrand. I have time to think about this, rather than the people who come to us and they have a cease and desist and someone's like, you have 7 days to change your Instagram handle or I'm getting it shut down.
Yeah, that would not be fun. I think one of the questions I have too is, as entrepreneurs, we have so many ideas. We're always changing things. We're coming up with new concepts, and how do you know what to trademark and what not to? Because I don't know. I feel like every concept I want to trademark, and then I change things so I don't. But well, how would you answer that?
So I think there's 2 factors. One is, how much do you love the name and not want to change it?
Okay.
And 2 is, how much money is invested in your brand? Like, are you investing in marketing? Do you have customer recognition? Like, do people recognize you by this name? Is your income tied to your name?
Okay.
In which case you should be upset if you had to change it, because no one wants to lose money. So those are like the 2 factors. Because I launch things all the time, and I want to trademark everything. Like I have the trademark bug. But even I know, like, even I have to pay my own filing fees, and I'm like,
Mhm.
enough. Like, we're
Right.
not,
Right.
I launched this offer called the Legal Reset in January. And some offers, you launch them and that they're sticking around and they're going to be there forever,
Mhm.
like limitless. I should probably trademark that. I haven't. But that's one of our offers
Mhm.
where like people love it. I launched this offer called the Legal Reset, which is like we'll do an audit of your business and then
Oh,
tackle like one project.
yeah.
Literally no one bought it, but I was about to file the trademark for the
Oh,
Legal
sure.
Reset because I was like, this is a cool name.
Mhm.
But then after, 4 emails of promoting it and no one responding, I'm like, well, this is just not what the people want. So I'm
Sure.
not going to bother protecting it, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. That makes sense. Start with your name and the key concepts or methodologies that you have for your business.
Yes.
And then, some of the other concepts that you roll in, test, and if they really land, and if you feel like that's going to be long term in your business, then go ahead and
Yes.
trademark.
Yeah. Business name, absolutely. And logo, if you have a logo where you're not going to change it and
Mhm.
that's it, like the Nike swoosh,
Mhm.
trademark your logo. If you're like, I don't know, I might tweak it,
Yeah.
you can only trademark the exact thing. So
Okay.
don't, bother with the logo if you're going to change.
Yeah. Would you say that logo is pretty much secondary though, like on the list of importance?
Yeah.
Because I think that you're right. People do change those a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I have clients who love their logo and they're like, I had this designed and I'm keeping it and people recognize me by it or are copying the look and feel of my
Oh, okay.
brand.
Yeah.
And then it's a like
Mhm.
priority. But I would say 9 times out of 10, people want to do the word mark
Mhm.
rather than the design mark application, which is just like the words in plain text.
Yeah. I have 3 trademarks and I didn't hire an attorney to do them. I went through I did a lot of it myself and they all worked out, but I don't want to ever do that again. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work and stress. So, there's some people that feel like with all of these online places like LegalZoom and I don't know, whatever the other ones are, what would you say to that where people really need someone in their corner, not just to be a number and, on this long list of people?
Yeah, not to like name names, but we have a lot of people who come to us after going to a filing service or DIYing.
Yep.
So we clean up a lot of those messes. And sometimes we can help them and like no harm, no foul. Like sometimes it's just picking up where they left off. Like they tried to answer an office action. They tried to use AI and it was like not even answering the question, and we can just answer it because you get 2 chances to kind of
Okay.
revive yourself after.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what the office action is?
Yeah. So if you file a trademark, you can get what's called an office action by the PTO, which is a refusal based on some grounds. It can be something simple like they require a disclaimer. It can also be something more complicated like they are saying you're too close to another mark, like your mark is too similar, or it's like descriptive or whatever it is, and you have to submit a legal brief. So a lot of times if people DIY their applications and they are successful, it's because they didn't receive an office action.
Okay.
So a little over half receive an office action, but some fly right through. Some are like perfectly filed. There's no issues and they just go through and you don't even have to answer an email and it's registered and it's amazing. That's rare, but like that's typically what I see the DIY ones that succeed. I think it's more rare if you get an office action. And some of the time you can't fix what the problem is. So I've had people who apply in like the wrong class.
Yeah.
So they apply with like, they forgot part of their name and you can't change that, like they didn't add on the word that their logo actually is.
Oh, sure.
And they only let you correct certain things.
Okay.
Minor things. So sometimes it's refiling and starting over. And sometimes that just means lost time. But sometimes that means lost legal rights. Like somebody has filed something else.
Okay.
In the meantime. So.
Yeah, because what is the average time from start to finish for a trademark by the time you apply it?
Right now it's 10 months, which is quick for them.
My last one I did in April of last year, and I just got it approved in January. No, February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes
So,
a
but
while.
like I said, I don't ever want to do that again on my own.
Yeah, and
You
there's
know?
a lot of people who are like, "I just don't wanna deal with it because I, like, have
Mhm.
my CEO hat on, and, like, this is not
Yes.
my expertise, and I don't wanna deal
Mhm.
with the deadlines, and I don't wanna miss anything." So we become attorney of record on a lot of people's
Mm.
trademarks who, like, already have them,
Okay.
who are just, like, kinda like, "I don't wanna do this is not my thing anymore."
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great option too, because, as CEOs and, high achieving women, we think we can do it all, right? And,
Yeah,
but there's a time and place for that. And it saves you
there is.
time, money, and energy to hire someone that does that for their living just to take care of it for you. So that's
Yeah.
great that you can become someone's attorney of record on a trademark.
Yeah, and
And
we
what does that
normally
involve? Is that just like the renewal process? And like, why would you want that?
so becoming attorney of record is just like
Mm.
it's just paperwork.
Mhm.
You would want that because when renewals come, you'll want an attorney to be like tracking that deadline
Mhm.
and doing the renewal for you.
Okay. Yeah, having it done.
Yeah. We also offer monitoring services for our
Oh,
trademark clients
okay.
because why go through all the effort of registering a trademark if you're not going to police it? Because you have to
Mm,
police it in order
okay.
to keep it, you know, your exclusive trademark. Like
Okay.
if you allow people to use your trademark, then yours could, cease to be your trademark.
Mm, okay.
You're
That's
in charge
interesting.
of policing it and making sure nobody else is using it.
Kind of like eminent domain with real estate,
Yeah.
right? Someone just keeps cutting a little further on your lawn every year, every year, and they
Exactly.
claim it. Yeah, who has the time to police it?
No one.
No.
And why would you want to spend your time
No.
being paranoid about
Right.
yeah, let
Yeah,
us be paranoid.
for sure. I think that's well worth the investment. Oh, goodness. One thing I thought about last night when I was thinking about our conversation today, I think there's so many scams out there. Like you get these letters in the mail when you
Mm.
apply for a trademark. Can you speak to that? Because I think that's just terrible how people do that and they try
Oh
to.
my gosh. I'm going to send you this reel after
Okay.
my one of our trademark clients put her number on the application. And she got a call yesterday and someone was asking for money and she's like, "I think you're a scammer." And he's like, "I am a scammer. Let me scam you." And she was like, "This is so funny." She's like, "At least you're being honest." But for some reason, there's so many scams.
Hmm.
And we attach we in our email when we file, we're like, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. You're going to
Hmm.
get mail that looks like this to
Yes.
your house. Ignore it. You've paid everything." Out of 10 clients, 5 will still email and be like, "I got this.
Oh, sure.
I thought I paid everything." I'm like, "You did. It's a scam."
Well, good thing they reach out to you instead
I
of paying
know.
it.
I know.
Yeah. Oh,
So you
goodness.
have to be on alert because
Hmm. Yeah, there's just so much of that and everywhere. And I didn't expect it with trademarks, but
yeah. And
you know,
another thing, I always tell clients is after you know you have the name, after
mhm.
you've done the search and made sure it's available, before you file, make sure you've secured the domain name because there's these
Mhm.
squatters that will
Oh,
wait
they just watch.
outside.
Hmm.
Yeah. And will try to snatch up the domain.
Oh, that's terrible.
I
So what
know.
would be the correct order then? The business entity, domain, like doing your research before you do that, but what?
Yeah. So if you haven't even filed the business entity
Mhm.
yet, I would say do the search. If you want the trademark name to be your business entity name, you could do the search, file the business entity, get the website, and then file the trademark with the
Okay.
business entity as the owner.
Hmm.
But if you don't want to wait, you can always file in your individual name and then transfer it to a business entity
Okay.
later. Yeah.
Okay, good. Nobody really likes to talk about what happens if you don't do the right things, but
Yeah.
you know, can you give our listeners just a little bit of advice about, or, what could happen if they don't follow the advice that you've given today and the correct procedures to really protect your business?
Yeah. So, I mean, as a litigator, I saw kind of what happens when you don't protect your business.
Hmm.
So we've talked a lot about rebrands. So that's definitely if you don't trademark,
Yeah.
you run the risk of someone filing first and you having to rebrand. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if your Instagram handle is the name of your trademark and someone trademarks it, they can report your Instagram and Meta will take it down that day. You could lose all of your followers.
Yeah.
So that's really important. Contracts, you just don't want to be like fighting over money, you know, that's, or like lost intellectual property rights, or not forming a business entity and having your personal assets at stake.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah,
For sure.
like money, intellectual property rights.
Yeah. We work so hard to come up with, our concepts and, like you said, our intellectual property and just build this business. Why are we risking it? Why are people, they just don't know. I think they just don't realize how easy it can be when they find the right people to help them. So it's so refreshing to know that you have that legal library, the template library that people can pick up for, a very reasonable cost. I mean, less than the cost of, an hour or two of an attorney call, right? So
no, it's a steal for sure. And there's no, and I get it. And like, there is no shame. I just did a post yesterday about like all of the legal mistakes I've ever made in my business, because we're human. Like, we're all human. Like, when I started that legal lifestyle blog, I didn't even think to do a trademark search on Lady J. Yeah. And the first Google result was a female urinal, which was not what I wanted. You know? Like, forget trademark infringement. I was like, not the brand positioning. I was going,
not at all. Oh my gosh.
So I've made my fair share of mistakes, and it's never too late or too early to get legal help.
Yeah. That's really helpful, because, and that's reassuring for so many people, because we've all done things that we wish we would have done differently. There's always so much that in hindsight, right, that you should have researched more or invested a little bit differently. So that's refreshing to hear that, you went through that too.
Of course. Yeah. Like, we all been there. All on this entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah. What are your most asked questions when it comes to this?
Ooh. People ask me when they should be thinking about trademarking, like how much money they should be making. A lot of people have this misconception that if they're not a big brand, like if they're not making 7 figures, they shouldn't trademark. And that's just the wrong way to think about it.
Okay.
I have clients who are making $0, who haven't even launched, who are protecting the name before they do, because it's like they believe in themselves, they believe in their idea, they believe in their brand, they know it's going to go somewhere. And it's like putting those proper protections in place before they even start. Yeah. So I think that's a big one, is just timing and like when am I ready for all of this? Yeah. And it's like, you're ready now. Do you have a business?
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Yeah. People ask me about cost a lot. So we charge $2,500 for a trademark application. I would say that's pretty standard among trademark attorneys. I'm not even going to talk about filing fee services, because I'm just not promoting that at all. But
and I agree. Don't do that. Hire someone like Berkley. Hire Berkley or someone like her. Take you like start to finish, and then you don't have to
and if
wonder if you're doing
I have like a lot of trademark attorney friends who are great too.
Great.
Like we're a close bunch of girls. So it's nice.
That's fun.
It really is. It's nice to have that like camaraderie among, peers, among people who are supposed to be your competition. But
and there's enough business to go around for everyone. Exactly. And I think that's so great. That's so refreshing when people do collaborate within the same industry instead of feeling like you always have this competition.
Yeah. And it like always works out in your favor. You know?
Always. You just don't know what you don't know, right? I mean, that's like why you joined the masterminds like Julie's back in 2018, and why I continue to invest in masterminds and coaches, because there's just so much you don't know. And you learn a lot from everyone around you. When you put yourself in the right rooms. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Legal protection is one of those foundational pieces that gives entrepreneurs the ability to scale with clarity and confidence. And I think we've really learned that today from our conversation with Berkley, and just knowing that what we've built is protected. So Berkley, this has been incredibly valuable, and we really appreciate you taking your time to share your knowledge and insight with all of us today. If listeners want to connect with you to learn more about trademarks or explore your services, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram at Berkley Sweetapple. My law firm is berkeleysweetappleLaw.com. And my template shop is thebusinessstudio.com. Look for the 7-figure CEO bundle, which is what I was
that's the one to get.
And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was really great to have you. So we'll include all of these links for Berkley in our show notes as always. And thanks for being here today. And we'll see you in the next episode.